There we go. All right, everyone. We're going to do the true lives of L. Frank Baum, the guy who created a lot of stories and especially Wizard of Oz, and find out his background. This way, we'll learn some history about him. Especially on this cold night. Winter, cold night. We had good storytelling and everything else about Frank Baum, the guy who created the Wizard of Oz. This way we'll get a lot of people came on early so we can get people come on and stuff. So, hey Karen, how you doing? Yeah, we're gonna do on the history of the guy who wrote the book Wizard of Oz. So that his early life all up to later years and stuff. Hey Ron, how you doing? Yeah? Are you going to deep fry the ham on Christmas Day, Ron? So are you gonna deep fry the ham on Christmas Day instead of the turkey? Hmm. Just waiting till everybody shows up. So yeah, we're doing the life answering of L. Frank Baum. No, we're smoking El Mondero. Oh, okay. Ham is too expensive now. Gotcha, Ron. Gotcha. Well, maybe one day ham be like under 50 cents a pound. So maybe ham will be under 50 cents a pound one day and be cheaper. Well, that's cool, Gilbo. That's cool. That's cool. Thanks. Well, that's their favorite saying, Gilbo. That's their favorite word. They believe. Maybe we should tell them we can go to see Wilco's show, see who's telling the truth. Maybe we shut them up. Yeah, maybe we start saying call them out on the Steve Wilco show and stuff. Maybe that will call them, shut them up. The price of hog is like 2 times what it was worth last year. Yeah, Ron, I think it should go down to 50 cents a pound instead of this dollar stuff. No, give us none in here. He's going to bed. Yeah, he went. He said it's time for him to go to bed over there and stuff. So that's where he's heading into bed. So yeah, he's heading to bed and stuff. Okay, no problem. See through. Can't wait to see you. I'm going to step outside for. Oh, yeah? So waiting for more people. Caesar should be here soon. Um, and Mustang should be coming in too here soon too. Okay, who's your daddy? We're gonna play. We got the questions. L. Frank Baum's questions from his early times to his career through later years. That's what we're. That's the questions for the night. Buongiorno. I'll stay as long as I can for now. Okay, no problem. Well, we got enough people here. And stuff. We'll go ahead and start. All right, since we got everybody here, we'll go ahead and start. First question: early life of Frank Baum. When was L. Frank Baum born? The guy who wrote The Wizard of Oz. So when was Frank Baum born? Does anybody know? Take a guess. This is kind of history of The Wizard of Oz. History. I figured do this. This would be kind of because I was watching a movie on here about his story. So anybody know what year was Frank Baum was born? If not, let me know. I'll reveal it. Wait. 1850s. Okay. Hey, Ange. No, you remember. Oh, you remember when the show came out? Okay, so we got 1850s, 1856. All right, let's find out. Frank was born May 15th, 1856, and then May 17th, 1876 to April the 9th, 17. What? I don't know what this. Hold on, this dude doesn't know what. We're having one of those damn stupid people. All right, let me get the real answer. This person who's putting all these different dates in is freaking wrong. I don't know who writes it. This person wrote the answers. Frank Baum was born May 15th, 1856. I don't know where he gets this dude get these other things. But he was born 1856, May 15th, 1856. That's oh, he's putting his like A B C D type deal. No. He screwed this one up. He put it in the wrong area. It's supposed to be up here, like A, B, C. All right. Next one, family. Who did Lyman marry? Who did Lyman marry? I'll leave his story up. Who did Lyman marry? Anyone? Way to go, Who's Your Daddy? Yeah, whoever wrote this thing, that one, they messed it up. Hoosier. We get a lot of those on here on this Jeopardy quiz thing. They mess it up so much. They just mess it up. Who did Lyman marry? Anybody? Okay, well, if nobody knows that, we'll go ahead and answer it. Jason or anybody? If not, I'll go ahead and answer it. It is, what the? This dude who wrote this is really quite stupid. Hold on, I'll find out. Let's see here. I still have his thing up here. Frank Baum is Lyman, okay? Who did Frank marry? Okay, Frank married. Let me get back here. Oh my God. American edition. Okay, born in New York City. He was born in New York City. His wife is named. I'm only trying to find. Let's see here. It says he and his wife. Where's her name at? Where's her name at? Where's her name at? All right, I'll have to copy it because this person really don't know what the heck they got this whole thing backwards on this thing. All right. All right. Who did Lyman Frank Baum married? Hold on. All right. It is Gage Baum. It's Maud Gage Baum. That's who he married. This one. Letter C. Yeah, letter C. This boy, whoever wrote this is dumb, didn't write it right. All right, career. How many jobs did he have? Let's see here. Okay. How many jobs did he have? So, does anybody know how many jobs did he have? 4. Okay. Ron says 4. Jason says 4. Cody says 5. Hoosier said mainly 4 jobs. All right, let's find out. He had 5 jobs. Let me see here. Let me go on here. Of course, he was an actor. He had his own business. He worked at I know some oil company store. Let's see what else he had. His career and worked in theaters. Replenishing their stocks. Let's see what else here. He performed under Louis F. Baum and George Brooks, and then he moved on to other different places. So he had 5 jobs. So that's what he had. So he had 5 jobs. All right. Writings. Which of these books did you really Baum? All right. Damn dude did it again. So which of these books did Baum write? The Ugly Duckling, Father Goose, or Beauty and the Beast? Let me go up here. Series books. 83 short stories. I'm trying to find it. Again, this person doesn't know how to do questionnaires, question things. He wrote 83 short stories, 200 poems, at least 42 scripts, numerous attempts to bring his work to stage and screen, 14 Oz books, children known as best as children's fantasy books, Lewis and Carroll, Alice in Wonderland, 5 children's series, Victoria, Fables, the golden age of fantasy, like J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit. On some of this freaking thing is what he put on here is wrong. Whoever wrote this he didn't do very well. I'm looking at the children's books. Let's see here. I'm seeing 1900, 1945. Tales of Peter Rabbit. I don't see it. Father Goose? I have no idea. And you must think, I still don't know. I can't find it. I'm looking for things that's on here. What is it? Ugly Duckling, Beauty and the Beast. There's a Nutcracker. Well, this person got it wrong. The Forerunner is like he wrote Lewis Carroll. I see Peter the Wizard of Oz. I don't know. Just let's see here. Frank bombs. Oops. Person doesn't know how to give out answers, I guess. Okay, let me look at his book series here. All right, so there's the Oz, Wigglebug books, the Gnome King, Aunt Jan's niece, Fortune Hunters, Mysteries, Father Goose. There we go. Father Goose was produced 1899. So Father Goose was produced 1899. So there you go. This person, whoever wrote this, didn't do very well. So Father Goose is what he wrote. One of them. And then the other thing, let me see. Ugly Ducking. So I'll keep that up. Well, I don't know who wrote this. This is ridiculous. Later years. When did Frank Baum die? Does anyone know? When did he die? When did Frank Baum die? Hey, Miss Bojangles, how you doing? What's going on, Miss Bojangles? So when did Frank Baum die? Let's see here. Hey, Junior Johnson, how you doing? So when did Frank Baum die? So what year did Frank Baum die? Oh, that's all right. You can just guess what you want. So Jason's got a 1919. Well, if this damn Cody's got 1919, Jason's got 1919. All right, let's find out. May 6th, 1919. This one, he got it right. They're not having all those stupid question things that he put in the wrong one. Okay, early life. Who was Frank Baum's father? So who was Frank Baum's father was? Yeah, if you want to get any answers, you can copy off of Jason. Hey, Cody. Yeah, if you want any answers, just copy off of Jason, Miss Bojangles. So yeah, you can copy off of him. So who's Frank Baum's father? Anybody? Benjamin, yes, Benjamin Ward Baum. That is correct, and he was an oil drilling in Pennsylvania. So his father succeeded in many businesses, including barrel making and oil drilling in Pennsylvania. Baum grew up on his parents' exclusive estate called the Rose Lawn, which Baum would call the Short of Paradise. Rose Lawn was located Mattydale, New York. Mom was a stickler, dreaming child. So yeah. Then he spent his siblings were tutored at home with his siblings. In the age 12, he spent 2 years at Peak Skills Military Academy after being severely disciplined for daydreaming and possible heart attack, and was allowed to return home. So there you go. So yes, it is Benjamin Ward Baum. All right, that one's correct. Family. How many children did he have? So how many children did he have? Makes me think of Junior. Who shot JR? Yeah. So how many kids did Frank Baum have? So how many kids did Frank Baum have? Oh. Anyone? Is your is your thing behind? Four sons. All right, everybody says four sons. All right, let's find out. He had four sons. That's correct. I'm watching his John Ritter is pretending L. Frank Baum's story. Career. What were his 5 jobs? So what was his 5 jobs? Cody. Yep. So what was his 5 jobs? Anyone? Let me see if he gives anything here. Well, just in case, I already showed it, just in case he did one of those ABC things. Yes, he was a newspaper editor, actor, screenwriter, film, and producer. Those who didn't know that. So that's what he was. He was author, newspaper editor, actor, screenwriter, and film producer. He could have made his own books because he was a newspaper editor. He can made his own books. All right. On to the next question. Writings. When was his first book published? When was his first book published? So when was his first book published? Oh, that was his father who did that, Bojangles. His father owned the oil drilling company and several others. So what year did his very first book publish? It's a very famous book he first wrote. He owned the newspaper company, Jason. Yeah, he owned his newspaper company. Yeah, he worked at a newspaper. He was a publisher and author and stuff. He owned his own newspaper company. So yeah, he owned his newspaper company. 1886, okay, 1899, 1899, 1899. Okay, here's the real story. His very first book he wrote was The Wizard of Oz in 1900. That was his very first book. He wrote The Wizard of Oz, and in 1904, The Marvelous Land of Oz. So he worked so many stories from 1900 to 1920 with these Wizard of Oz books, and then in between he wrote other books in between, like TikTok and the Gnome. This is where the TikTok story came from. That's how TikTok got started online. It was from Frank Baum's story, TikTok and the Gnome King. So that's where TikTok came from. They all got it from Frank Oz. So that's where TikTok came from. It came from L. Frank Baum's story. There you go. TikTok. That's where TikTok came from. But yeah, 1900. That was his very first book. Very first book. He's wrong on this one. Again. Here, let me show you this. This is let me show this book. All right. Stop sharing. Let me show you the book. List of books. Okay, these are the books of series. Publication and orders. The Wizard of Oz, 1900. So it wasn't no 1899. It was 1900. Here's all his Oz books he wrote. Then in between 1905, 1913, he wrote these two. This is where TikTok story come from. So the King of Gnome. So yeah, that's where TikTok come from. But yeah, this is all. So 1900 is when it came out. So on here it says in the story. Let's see here. Wizard of Oz came out on this story. One for Oz series. 14 books of Oz. So 1900 is what it came out and stuff. So yep, that's where TikTok came from, Miss Bojangles. They stole it from Frank Baum, people. They stole it. So they stole Frank Baum's idea. So yeah, they stole Frank Baum's idea. TikTok. He needs to get paid for that. How old was Baum when he died? So how old was Frank Baum when he died? Anybody? What was he in, Cody? First overall book, the Book of Humsburg. Well, hold on. Let me find it here. You said the Book of Humsburg? Hold on, let's see here. Let me bring that up. Because it didn't show that on that list. Book of what was it again? Humsburg. Okay, Humsburg. Book of Humsburg. All right, let's see here. Humsburg. Okay, Frank. Okay, hold on. Let's see here. That was when? When was this? Okay, The Book of Humsburg by L. Frank. Well, what year was this? Well, let me find it. I'm trying to find it, Cody. Hold on. I found the thing. Let me try to find it here. Hold on. The Book of Holmesburg. Hold on. Okay, read more. Book of Holmesburg remains a beloved generation. So, what year was this? Well, where'd it go? It's not. Okay, it's not coming up. Hold on. Let me find it here. The Book of Holmesburg. Okay. Australia. Okay, hold on. Um, where'd it go? All right, well, that doesn't help. All right, it's got to be here somewhere. I'll find it. Let me find it, Cody. Okay, Book of Holmesburg. Let me see here. I'm looking for the year at some of these others here. Why is it not showing? All right. Oh, let me hear. Hold on. What year? What year? Book of Holmesburg. Okay, it's here. Hold on. Let me. I'm trying. What year was Book of Holmesburg wrote? All right, let me see here. Holmesburg. All right. Book of Holmesburg. Okay, so according to this, as the title indicates, the book is guided to raise Holmesburg breed of chickens. Baum originally wrote the piece in an article for journal The Poultry World, where it appeared in installment from July to November 1882. So technically, that was not a book until after he published in the poultry world. So particularly, this was in the poultry world of the Hamburg breed of chickens. So he really wrote it in the Journal of Poultry World from July to November 1882. So it seems like they don't consider that as a book back in 1882. It should, Cody. It should. But anything that was in that was like in a poultry chicken world type deal. So they wouldn't consider, but now people are reading it as a book today. So 1882 was about chickens on that time. So it was a different time. It wasn't a book. It was in the newspaper article and stuff. So the age that Mr. Baum lived wasn't no 57 years old. He lived at the age of 62. He died at age 62. Who no freaking people is these people? Put these things in here. Yes, let me show you. Hold on, let me share the screen here. Let me share the screen. Let me share the screen. Where are you? There you go. So he died May 16th at age 62. So there you go. At age 62, that's when he died. So that's when he died. Age 62 when he died. Are you yelling at people, Jason? What are you doing yelling at Bojangles for, huh? I haven't been feeling well. Oh, okay. You haven't? Is it because of the weather, Junior? All right, early life. Who was Bomb's mother? Anybody? I mentioned your name while looking over the place. I hope you start feeling well, Junior. I hope so. Hope you feel good and stuff. So yeah, I hope you're feeling well. Send prayers to him. Yeah, send some prayers. Send some prayers to him. He needs it. He needs it. He needs it. All right. So, who was his mother? Does anybody know Frank Baum's mother? I said it earlier. Who she was earlier and stuff. He's being nice. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and answer the question. Cynthia Stratton. Stanton. Stanton. Okay. Family. What were his children's first names? So, what was Frank Baum's children's first names? So, what was his children's first name? We're learning world history tonight. Oh, you did? Okay. Gotcha, Mr. Bojangles. He's real good. Hoosier knows most of this stuff. So, what was his first children's first names? Anybody? Frank, Robert, Harry, and Kenneth. I want much. I want so much snow. Let it snow. You better come out here where Chicago and up in part of Michigan. That's where all the snow is. It's Bojangles. It stays up farther north of Indiana. Okay, let's find out. Frank, Robert, Harry, and Kenneth. Did everybody get Harry? Yep. Okay. Cool. So that was the names. All right, the career. What was his best known for? What is Frank's best known for? So, what was his best known job, career did he do? So, what was his best job he was known for? So, what job was he best known for? I think mostly it was his acting job. That's what he was known for. He started. He worked in. He worked for his still this theater. Temporary. He went to work for his as a clerk for his brother-in-law at his dry goods company in Syracuse. Let's see here. Of course, like you said, he was an actor in theater. Um, he replenished their stock of costumes. Leading role. Um, Clerk one day being found locked in a storeroom dead. Oh wow. Okay. That's interesting. I love it. There. Cool. We have quite a bit of snow in Michigan. Oh, see, need to go where Junior is. Bojangles, he's got snow up there. All right, let's find out. Writing Wizard of Oz. Well, that was, but I think he loved telling good stories to children when he's acting. So his imaginary thinking brought the Wizard of Oz together. So altogether, he was a good writer and author, and that's how he brought the Wizard of Oz series and stuff. All right, so let's move on to another best question about Frank Baum. After winning award for breeding hummingbirds, a small colorful bird, what did he do? I just got that. Where was that? So according to that, the Book of Hummingbird, poultry. We know it's poultry. Cody. So after winning award for breeding Hummingbird, a small colorful bird, what did he do? Yeah. This is where we bring out our sleighs, horse riding sleigh carriages. Okay, according to this, as the title indicates, the book is a guide of raising Hummingbirds chicken. Baum originally wrote the piece as an article for the journal Poultry World, where it appeared in installments from July into November 1882. And then the article was commissioned by the journal publisher H.H. Stroud, who reissued it as a book in 1886, apparently without the author's knowledge. So he got ripped off. So technically, H.H. Starter, who reissued the book, he's the one who wrote the book in 1886. So Frank L. Baum didn't pursue the writing the book, but somebody copied, like we say on YouTube. You copy my channel. So, all right, let's find out. Began a new magazine called the Poultry Recorder, and that's what piece. That's what he did. Wrote a piece in the article of Poultry World. So that's what he did. All right. Yep, that's correct. Hoosier. All right. Later years. One, we know he died. What is wrong with these people? He redo this again. It was 1919. This person doesn't know how to do anything correctly. That's a repeat of a question. Hold on. He died of a stroke. And he's buried in Forest Lawn Cemetery, Forest Lawn Memorial Park. That's where he's buried at. Let me look at it. Let's see here. Oh, no, 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 no. Let's see here. He died as what? What did he die? The death. Baum suffered a stroke, slipped into coma, and died the following day, 9 days before his 63rd birthday. His last words were spoken to his wife during a brief period. Now we can cross the shifting sands. He was buried in Glendale Forest Memorial Park Cemetery. His final Oz book was Glinda of Oz, was published July 10th, 1920, a year after his death. All right. What was Baum's real first name? Frank Baum's real first name. Everybody know? We already had this already. What was Frank Baum's real first name? Yeah, again, yeah, Hoosier. Glinda the Good Witch, yes. No, that was his father, Miss Bojangles. That's his father name. His first name started with an L. We had this earlier. It's Lyman. Lyman Frank Baum. That's his first name. That's his real name. With the L, he didn't put his full name, but he put L Frank Baum. His real name is Lyman Frank Baum. That's what his real name is. Lyman Frank Baum. What the? Oh, this dude. It's C. Lyman. This boy don't know how to put things right in the wrong area. So it's Lyman. That's his name right here. Lyman Frank Baum. Okay, family. Until age 12, where did he get his education from? So where did Frank Baum get his education from? So where did he get his education from? Anyone? Yep. At the age 12, he spent 2 years in Peak Skills Military Academy. But after being severely disciplined, the daydreaming, he had a possible psychotic heart attack and was allowed to return home. So it was Peak Skills Military. Let's see what the answer is this one. Well, his mom tutored him after he had that heart attack. So that's why they sent him home to his mom. Teach, but he was at Pete Skill Military School. That's what happened. So let's see what this person says about. He was tutored by his siblings. Well, no, he got tutored by his mom because he had a heart attack. He didn't. Well, that was wrong. Again, didn't look at the answer. Career. When did Baum's love for theater begin? Anyone? When did Baum's love for theater begin? Well, that for the military. So when was the love of theater begin? I'm looking on here. Hoosier. Let's see, theater career. Trying to find it. Well, it's not saying on that one. Let me look at something else here. Theater. Job. Hold on. Down. So Frank Baum's first theater acting job was a play called The Maid of Aaron, which was performed in 1880. Let's see what he says, what this dude says on that one. So 1880 is when his theater career started. Let's see what this dude says on this one. In his teens. No. Oh my God. Hold on here. Where'd he go? 1880 wasn't his vaccination. So let me look at this one. But his first career was in 1880. 1881 was 1880. 1870. Okay, so Baum becomes a manager of strings of theaters owned by his father in New York and Pennsylvania with other artists. Acting career. I'm trying to find it here. Balancing health. Well, where is it? It was in theater 1880. Tennis, poetry. No, it says 1882. February 1882, Baum submits 3 plays. The Maid of Aaron matches the copyright. So 1882, when he was engaged with acting. So he wrote The Maid of Aaron. So 1882. Yeah, it's 1882 when he did theater. So 1882 is when he got into theater. So this person doesn't know what the heck he's talking again. Writings. How old was Frank when his first book was published? So how old was Frank when his first book was published? Let me look on here. So his first book was published. Technically, it would have been 1882, but it wasn't. He was born 18. So let me see here. 1900 minus 18. Okay, according to what I get, he was 46 years old. What I get. 44. He was 44 years old. What I get. When he first made his book. First book. I get 44. All right, let's see here. I get 44. You guys say 43. 30. No, wait, but it can't be. All right, let me go down the list here. Where's that one list? I got the list thing here. So his first book was I'm trying to see it here. Here we go. February 1st, 1890, article that reads, "We must do away with sex prejudice, render equal distant brains built more than a half the 8-page paper used boiler plated and ready to print." And so he did this one. Its very first published endorsed by the Republican Party. So this was 1890 when this was done, when he was doing the newspaper. So that's pretty much technically 1890 was his very first publishing book thing. So that's when his book was published. So 1890. So 1890. Hold on, let me get this here. So let me add this up. 1856. Hold on here. 1890 minus 1856. It would put it 34 years old. So he was 34 years old when he published that 1890. Back then. So about 34 years old from 1890, he was 34 years old, published that one book, article in 1890. So age 34. All right. Later years. Where was Baum buried? We know where he's buried. Anybody know? Well, after I just read it, everybody know where he's buried at? Jason, he did. Here, I'll show you. Let me find it. Hold on. Let me show you, Jason. All right, let me show you. Where is it? Roots of that. Let me zoom in so you can see. So, where do you go? Article 1890. That's what he published. Baum published his first issue. Adrian Adorn, Saturday Pioneer. So that was his first published. And another article. So 1890 is when he published. So there it is, Jason, right there. And besides, he was taking over editor. He was only making $20 a week Can you live on $20 a week? So basically, yeah, 1890. He did two different. He first issued this one, and then he did this article on this. So 1890, Jason. So yeah, 1890. That's where it was. Okay, so you're saying Arlington or something? No. He is buried. Let me go back to it. He is buried in Los Angeles, California, Forest Lawn Memorial Park. Now, if he didn't do this, let's see what this crazy dude said. All right. Reveal. Yep, he's got that correct. So, yeah. All right, on to the next one here. Why was he named Lyman? Anybody? Why was he named Lyman? Jason, he was. Back then, they would consider books. They're small books that he wrote. So, as opposed to he can make small books. Books back then, it was not like the books he wrote. They're just little thin books. That's what they are. So he did publish those books, those small books in 1890. Those two different article books. Those would be considered books now. Back then. Why was he named Lyman? Does anybody know why he was named Lyman? Let me see here. Let's see for American. Let me see here. Why was he named Lyman? See what this dude says. I see the answer. He was named Lyman after his father's brother. Correct. His brother's name was Lyman Spalding Baum, but he always disliked it and preferred his middle name Frank. So he didn't like his name. That's why he put L. Frank Baum all the time. He didn't like his name. Yeah, he didn't like his name. Okay, on to the next question. Family. Because his parents thought he needed to tighten up, what did they do with him? Because his parents thought he needed to be tightened up, what did they do with him? Any answers? You got fired, place. Buddy, you were fired. Your fireplace on, buddy. So, what did happen? His parents thought that, let's see here. Let's see here. It doesn't say it. I can't find it. Let's see here. His parents. Let me see here. I see where he talked about his dad when he worked with his dad. Well, because he's disciplined of daydreaming. So that's probably the reason why he was daydreaming of what the answer would be, because he was daydreaming. All right, let's find out the answer. They sent him to the military academy. Well, that's one of them because he was daydreaming. That's why where he sent to him. He was daydreaming. Pick skills, military academy, because he was daydreaming. All right, career. What newspaper did Baum publish for? So, what newspaper company did Baum publish for? Anyone? All right. National Enquirer. Let's see here. He published. Let me find it here. I got it up here somewhere. The publishing company he worked for was. According to this, is his. It's the Daily News that he worked for. So it's the Daily News that he worked for. I see on here. And then he worked for Denver Rocky Mountain News. That's another one. He also briefly supported himself as a cowboy and then a miner in Leadville, Colorado area. So the Daily News and the Denver Rocky Mountains. There's that one, those two. And then he worked several, looks like. So yeah, so Denver Rocky Mountains, the Daily News. So those are the two I see on here. Oh, yeah, Jangles. All right, we'll find out. Saturday Pioneer. See, well, no, the Daily News, and it was the Daily News and the Rocky Mountain News where he was doing. He briefly supported. That was in this movie I'm watching. He was in the Daily News Mountaineer when he briefly supported himself as a cowboy. There was a kind of shootout thing, but he won. The guy turned chicken. So yeah, that's not right. Okay. Why did Baum write The Wizard of Oz? Does anybody know the answer? Is Cody still here? So, why did Baum write The Wizard of Oz? I'll look on here. Let's see here. Where you go? Here's the story according to what this is. What he did. How this story became. Anybody knows how the story? I love telling story to kids. Oh yeah. Okay, well here's the real story before I show you the answer. The real story, according to May 7th, 1898, a family legend, Baum discovered Oz as the name of his American fairyland when he spots his bottom file drawer label O to Z. While telling the story to his sons and their neighbors' friends, the first printed account of this tale was founded in New York Mirror. So, Maud, however, denies the story in 1939 interview, Syracuse Herald. So, that's how Oz became. Because the label on the file drawer says O to Z. Oz. So the land of Oz was discovered by his filing cabinet. So that's how the Wizard of Oz got started, by his filing cabinet. Let's see what this person says on here. He wanted to modernize and update the fairy tale by combining morals with entertainment and wonderment and joy. Well, no. It is because family legend Baum discovers Oz as the name of his American fairyland when he spotted his bottom filing drawer says label O to Z. And that's how Oz got its story. What do you think of that? Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Last question of the night. Where are L. Frank Baum's papers and manuscripts are housed? So where is his manuscripts and paper house at? Anybody? Let me see if I can find it. Let's see here. I'm trying to find it. I'll look over here on this other one. All right. His papers. Where is it? Let's see here. Literary. Where is it? There's papers. Well, that's insane in this, where it's storage out here. Let's see here. Editor, legacy, all of them. Doesn't say. I'm trying to find where his work is stored at. It's been so long. Well, let's find out. Columbia University. Well, let's see here if I can find that. Well, let's see here. Hold on. Let's see here. See if I can bring it up. Hold on. Paste. Search. Baum's papers and manuscripts are housed at Binsky Rare Books and Manuscripts Library in Yale University. This collection includes various writings and production reviewed and correspondence related to Baum's work. Additionally, some materials are also housed in Columbia University, but it's at Yale University where most of his papers and manuscripts are held at. So that's just person didn't come up with that one. So that's where his scripts are and stuff. So, well, hey everybody, hey, thanks for all coming. I appreciate it for coming, and y'all have a nice night and stay warm, everybody. I'm forward to tell me that, so I didn't know. All right. Y'all have a nice evening now. Stay warm. Bye now.